Hi students, it's Ms.Boley here. Today we're going to do a little mini lesson on how we can use simple shapes to draw. And also I'm going to show how you can use those simple shapes to map out your composition before you begin adding details. So with comics, a lot of the times they're quite simple. We're going to stick with that kind of idea, but it's still super helpful to create a little map of where everything's going to go before I started adding in the details. So these are illustrations, little simple quick illustrations of idioms. All right, let's get started. So I want to keep these small. So I'm going to start off by drawing a rectangle or just a box where I can focus on drawing my illustration so I don't have to cover the full page. So one tip that I have for drawing comics or illustrations is that you have to have some context. So there can't just be something there, just one thing right in the middle. The viewer won't really understand what it is. So I wanted to illustrate the idiom butterflies in your stomach. So that means that someone is feeling nervous or excited. So I had to show a situation that would make someone feel nervous or excited. And I thought, well, what could I draw? So I decided to do a person showing up, and there's a desk in front of them, and on the desk there is a test. And I was going to make them look really nervous so that the viewer would understand what the idiom butterflies in your stomach means. So what I'm doing now is I'm mapping out where everything's going to go. And at this point of my drawing, I am doing super simple shapes. So I'm using mostly rectangles and triangles, and I'm even just using lines for the person's arms and legs. So I'm going to have this little like x-ray thing going in front of their stomach, and then you'll be able to see the butterflies in there. So that's kind of my plan. So I had thought of that idea first, and then I'm now starting to do that mapping out process that I talked about. And then once I'm done that, I'll start to add some details. Okay, so I have everything placed where I want it to go. So now I'm using my pencil still, but I'm now adding, like I'm not having a stick figure anymore. I'm actually going to add their hands and like make their legs and arms not a stick anymore, and I'll add clothing and hair. Um, and I'm going to add some of those details, like I'm going to draw the test on the desk. And then I also think that in these types of comics, it's helpful to have like a sort of a setting. So it doesn't need to be a super detailed background, but just something. So all I'm going to do in this is I'm just going to do a line in the back to sort of show where the wall, like to show that she's inside and there's a wall, and this is maybe like a classroom or something like that. So I'm going to fast forward through this process, but that is what I am working on doing right now. Okay, so that process is now done, and I'm not doing a lot of detail because I'm not going for realism. These are abstraction. Comics and illustrations often are. And now I'm just going to do some outlines with either a Sharpie marker or maybe like a ballpoint pen, or even just a darker colored pencil crayon in certain parts. You can also add color if it's necessary. Like I'm going to do a second illustration, and I thought that that one would work better to be in color. For mine, I'm just going to do black and white, and then I might color the butterflies. So again, I want them to stand out so that the person looking at this really understands what idiom this is supposed to be. And there is a closer look at my butterflies in your stomach illustration. So if you feel like you get the idea of starting with simple shapes
going from less detailed to more detailed, then uh, that's all that you need to watch from this video. But if you want to watch me draw a second comic based on the idiom cool as a cucumber, you can continue watching. So for this one, I wanted to draw the cucumber on the beach with a cool drink and a cool umbrella. And I felt like if I didn't color it green, then people might think it was a banana and it would be confusing. So I thought that for this particular one, color was very important. All right, that is it. I hope that helped. Thank you so much for watching.